hello, my friends. It's me, your old friend Santa. And let me tell you, there's nothing I like more after a hard day of work at the toy shop than having for dinner Mrs. Vilviachki's homemade cabbage rolls. Mmm. Nothing says delicious, nothing says good like Mrs. Vilviachki's homemade cabbage rolls. There's Mrs. Vilviachki on the package, and it even won the gold medal star. Let me tell you, Mrs. Vilviachki's is the product that made Detroit famous. Man, Mrs. Vilviachki's. All right, friends, you caught me. No, I do eat Mrs. Vilviachki's cabbage rolls. I absolutely love them. Reindeer love them too. But the fact is this, not everybody loves Mrs. Vilviachki's cabbage rolls because they are made with cabbage. And cabbage. She also makes a cabbage soup too. But Mrs. Vilviachki's cabbage rolls, they give me gas, honestly. I mean, you know, that builds up. And Mrs. C is the one who doesn't like Mrs. Vilviachki's cabbage rolls because, well, they make me break wind. That's you know, Mrs. C kicks me out after I eat them and I start breaking wind, and she throws me out and I gotta sleep down in the workshop, and you know, I got elves coming in every 10 seconds to ask questions, and you know, the deer love them. Honest to goodness, the deer love Mrs. Vilviachki's cabbage rolls. But then again, you know, when the deer break wind, it gets converted into thermal energy, and we're running off of natural gas here, so that works great. But Mrs. C does not like the natural gas in our room at night, so I can't eat as much as these as I'd like. I mean, I put them in the microwave every now and then, and you know, try to sneak them out, and that doesn't quite work. So, but I like Mrs. Vilviachki's cabbage rolls. I mean, she's really built a nice business over the years. This lady, you know, immigrates here from one of the Benelux countries, you know, real, you know, happy ending type story. You know, she comes over here as a child, and they immigrate here and from one of the Czech countries, and she grew up here and started cooking in her boarding house. So, you know, she's cooking cabbage rolls and cabbage soup and cabbage things and cabbage and potatoes and cabbage and whatever. And anyway, she built this thing up, and you know, they have a little factory now outside of Detroit, and that's not such a bad thing. I mean, they have 100 people work there, and Mrs. Vilviachki oversees every, you know, can of soup and every box of cabbage rolls that's made. So it's a good product, so I'll endorse it wholeheartedly. Just remember that, you know, if you don't want your wife to put you out at night, you gotta be careful when you eat them. Eat them at work, and you know, squeeze the stuff out before you get home. So remember, friends, Mrs. Vilviachki's cabbage rolls, handmade, 100%. And remember, it's a great product. The product that made the cabbage rolls that made Detroit famous. Enjoy some today.